Welcome, Fall River, to our Day of Portugal celebration here at Government Center. We're going to have a flag raising. I'm going to say a few words, a couple other people are going to speak, and then we'll raise the flag. Today we're recognizing the Day of Portugal here in Fall River by raising the flags of Portugal, the Azores, and Madeira. I know this celebration looks different than in previous years. While the Day of Portugal Committee is planning their full festivities for later this summer, we wanted to acknowledge today officially on behalf of the city of Fall River. And Fall River is known across the country and in Portugal as a hub for the Portuguese culture. People travel here from across the country to taste the most authentic Portuguese food. They buy their goods from our stores and markets, and families often reunite in Fall River to celebrate the feasts and festivals that we all have come to enjoy. Around 46% of the population in Fall River claims Portuguese ancestry, and there is no denying the influence that the Portuguese community has made all across the city of Fall River. From the Portuguese immigrants from the Azores and Cape Verde to our first generation and second generation Portuguese sons and daughters, we are all better people for the Portuguese residents who came to and call Fall River their home. This day is celebrated in Portugal and by Portuguese people all around the globe, including here in Fall River and southern New England. Today we will be celebrating the same occasion as our three sister cities in Portugal, Ponta Delgada, Lagoa, and Ribeira Grande. It is an important reminder of our strong ties to these communities around the globe and the very unique character and heritage that the Portuguese have brought to our city. And with that, I would like to issue this proclamation to John Gonçalves from the Day of Portugal Committee. I'll allow John to say a few words, and I want him to know that we do celebrate Portugal Day, officially known as Dia de Camões. I would said that wrong. It's a holiday commemorates the death of the literary icon Luís de Camões on June 10th in 1580. And we'd like the Day of Portugal Committee to get this. John will say a few words in a minute. Okay, we'll let some other people talk first. Okay?
Oh, okay, thank you.
Go ahead, you want us to talk now? Go ahead, John.
As you know, there's something like 156 countries around the world that have residents that were born and raised in Portugal. And today is the one day where all of us that reside in any one of those 156 days feel the huge pride that comes along with being part of Portugal, being raised and born in Portugal, and seeing our descendants establish roots in other countries and contributed in the best way possible to make every country where we arrived a little better because we got there and we helped everyone get along. So there's nothing like the pride of being Portuguese on a day like the June 10th, and we want to thank everyone for accepting us and welcoming us, because we are happy to be there wherever there might be. Thank you very much.
Okay, we're going to let a couple of people speak, but I do want to acknowledge a lot of our Portuguese ancestry employees here at Government Center. They do a great job working for the citizens every day. Many of them are lined up behind me, and again, I compliment them every day for their efforts. Okay. First, you want her? Okay, so the first person we're going to let speak is State Representative Carol Fiola.
Thank you, Mayor. Great to be with all of you today on this Day of Portugal. I did hear some good news that you can start visiting. If you don't have your dual citizenship, you can start visiting Portugal again. They're opening up, and so it should be a great summer for a lot of our friends here in Fall River and the area to get to visit again. What a beautiful country, what a beautiful island the Azores are. Growing up, my age group, the one cultural community that had the most impact on my life, even though I am not Portuguese, was the Portuguese community. All of my friends growing up in school and their families, were Portuguese. And their parents, many of them did not speak English, but we communicated beautifully through food and through hugs and through threats of getting home on time. This community would not be what it is today. The welcoming melting pot in my generation at least, I know, if not for the Portuguese community. And so I want to thank the mayor for, this is our 4th flag raising this season, and what a great event. So congratulations, obrigado to the Portuguese community, and thank you very much. I got to go vote.
I also want to acknowledge someone who's with us today, Police Chief Jeff Cardoza. Again, another Durfee grad and a strong Portuguese background. I'd also like to let 2 city councilors say a couple of words. First on my first I'd like to introduce Trot Lee, member of our city council. He wants to acknowledge the Day of Portugal.
Well, Mayor, I just wanted to tell you, I've been walking around today telling people that on 23andMe, I learned I was 27% Azorian. So I'm proudly walking around with that on me. So I put together a few words. First, it is an honor to be here and just show respect to the Day of Portugal. As we know, as it was already mentioned, Fall River is well known for its businesses, for its restaurants, and just its influence overall in the culture. We have so many parades coming down the line and to celebrate for the churches and everything like that. It made me think about growing up in Fall River. I actually was born and raised in Fall River. I lived in the south end, the middle, lived in the north end as well. And there's a cultural Portuguese influence everywhere we go in the city. And it made me think of what other communities and what other cultures need to do when they are growing in the city as well. There's been a very strong investment for generations. When you can see it's reflected in the churches, you can see it reflected in the banks and the credit unions. People can invest in Fall River, and Portuguese community has invested more than any other community in this area for several years now. And that's what I take away from it is when you invest in a community, it grows and it becomes stronger. So that's what I'm going to take from this, and that's what I'm going to take this all the way to the next Day of Portugal, the next time I come around here. So thank you for having me. God bless everyone. Thank you.
And last but not least, City Councilor Linda Pereira.
Hi. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for putting this on. It's a great event. I think we're so lucky in Fall River to have so many cultures. And, you know, the one thing that I look at, I speak fluent Portuguese, although my mom and dad were both born here, but they were raised on the mainland in Lisbon and Viseu. My husband is Azorian, so we get it from all ends. But whether you're from Cape Verde, from Madeira, from Açores, Fayal, any of the Azorian islands, whether you're from the continent, you're Portuguese. And I think John said, you know, 150 different places that Portuguese people have landed. But what makes me most proud of being of Portuguese descent is because many years ago as a child, I could only look at people who were Portuguese, who were construction workers, pick and shovel they used to call it, or were factory workers. But Portuguese people valued education, educated their children. Look at the various people we have. Chief of Police, Portuguese descent. Tim McCoy, half Portuguese, city administrator. Madeline Coelho runs human resources. Mrs. Bouchard, who is married, that's why. But Allison is our city clerk. I can look at so many. And that makes me very proud. And the reason we do it on June 10th is because Eudith Camões. Camões was a famous, famous poet. But I am so glad that, you know, we've melted into Fall River, gained the respect of Fall River, and as people of Fall River, we're embracing other cultures to come in, because together we make one and we make our city better. I'd also like to give a special shout out to Luis Malim, because it's his birthday today, and his name is Luis because of Luis Camões. Thank you all so much.
Okay, so why don't we have our employees raise the flags now? Just spin the crank right behind you there, Carla.
There you go.
There you go, Carla, yeah. This is the highlight of her life.